A lot of the work in my lab lately is looking at second language acquisition, especially trying to understand why it's so hard for adults to learn second languages when kids don't seem to have that much difficulty, which is weird when you think about it, because like if you've met a little kid, you know they're pretty dumb. They're like not good at most things, and yet they're really good at learning language. It's just strange and seems backwards. And we really don't know why. In fact, there's still a lot of debate about exactly when it gets harder. So if you look at the standard sources, some people tell you it gets harder at 5 years old, some will say 10, some say 15. And that was largely because people were guessing randomly. There just wasn't data on the question. So we were able to publish a study a couple of years ago in which we used, again, a very large sample of English speakers from around the world, about 670,000. And we were able to estimate that English grammar at least seems to get harder to learn at around 18 years old, which is like crazy late, much later than anyone had expected. We're obviously trying to do a lot of follow-up work on that because not just to nail that down, as I said, that is what we found about learning grammar of English, and it might be different for other languages. It might be different for different aspects of language. It might actually be different for different parts of grammar. There's no guarantee that grammar is all one thing, but also we have to do a lot of work on the theoretical side, because we had set out to try to distinguish between these various theories about why language learning got harder, but all those theories had been put together on the presumption that it got harder to learn much earlier. So, for instance, debating about whether it's because of changes that happen in your brain at the age of 5 or the age of 12, turns out the answer is no, right? It's not either of those. And we don't actually know very much about the changes in the brain at around 18 years old. We're starting to know a bit more in the last couple decades, but there's just really a dearth of work looking at young adults.